Hello and welcome to Fatboss Bitesize. Today we're going to be taking a bite out of the Vault of the Wardens 5-man dungeon on Mythic. This video is going to assume that you know the basics of 5-man dungeons, such as not standing in the fire, making sure you dispel harmful debuffs off your allies, and making sure you stun trash, that kind of thing. So let's go straight into it and cover the key trash abilities, as well as all of the bosses that you will find in the Vault of the Wardens on Mythic difficulties and below. From the start, clear either side of the stairs to get to the mini-boss. These trash packs have emollient fury mobs in them. You need to interrupt the Unleashed Fury cast to avoid a whole world of hurt. The mini-boss that you'll be fighting throws out a glaive that you should avoid, and also you need to move out of the fire patches or they will explode and knock you up, so just be quick. In the next set of trash, be careful of the frontal cone silence from the Fellsworn Naga, and make sure you interrupt or dispel the Nightmares debuff, which stuns a player and causes them to send out a load of orbs after the debuff is over. The Fel-infused Fury ad will also do an I-beam which spins around, so try and avoid that as well. Once you're done that, you'll get to the first boss, which is Tirathan. Tanks, make sure you use active mitigations during the Dark Strikes, otherwise the boss will gain an absorb shield and will become uninterruptible. Everyone, move out of the Fel Mortar and kill any ads that do spawn from it. Ranged players need to be spread out for when the boss swoops down onto you, and as soon as he is landed, you need to interrupt his Furious Blast to prevent you all from dying horribly. At 50%, the boss will transform into either his Havoc or his Vengeance form, depending on what week it is. During Havoc, you need to move out of his I-beam ability, and healers need to keep everyone topped up due to an immolation aura that's constantly ticking out on the group. In his Vengeance form, move away from the two glaives that are flying around the room. The chain in between and the dot that it leaves on you does so much damage, you need to avoid this at all costs. You can actually go over the chains, but you need to be very high up to do so. A double jump from a Demon Hunter at max height is high enough, whereas a Warrior Leap doesn't always make it. After killing the boss, clear out all the imps and fight the Imp Mother. Be careful of the Imp Mother's goo patches as well as her vomit breath called a mother's love. The fuck, Blizzard? Go down the elevator and you'll see the next boss, which is Inquisitor Torment. Now he has very few of his own abilities. He will summon tormenting orbs which players need to face when their beam cast finishes on them, otherwise you'll be disoriented. Don't bother trying to kill these orb eyes, as they have a huge amount of HP and they'll actually despawn before you could ever kill them. He'll also cast Sap Soul. On heroic difficulties and lower, this is interruptible and you really should interrupt it, however on Mythic it is not. The debuff that it applies to you makes it so the next ability you cast will have an extra 15 seconds added to its cooldown, so when the debuff is on you, you want to use a useless ability to remove the debuff without a downside, such as Consecration for Holy Paladins. At 75% and 50%, the boss will teleport to one of 4 prison doors and release some ads. In all cases, these ads need to be grouped up and killed off by the DPS as soon as possible. Forget about doing damage to the boss, kill these ads. Now the trash that you can get is Mogosham Vault's trash, which you just need to kill off, Shah of Pride trash, in which you need to AoE them down and then spread out when your debuff is about to time out because you're about to do AoE damage to everyone around you. You'll get Faceless One's trash, where you need to interrupt the ads and move out of the Shadow Crash. And also the Blood Furnace trash, also known as the one that never bothered showing up when I wanted to record it. In this trash you'll have a Felguard that will do a charge into a threat drop so the tank needs to taunt it back, you'll have Engineers throwing bombs all over the place so they're just a pain in the ass, and the Warlocks will also buff the Felguard. Just kill them all as soon as you can. After you kill the boss, you can head towards either Ashgolm or Glazer. Let's head towards Glazer. There's a mini boss that you need to kill in front of the door. The main thing it does is that it places a debuff on players that will heal her, so you need to dispel it as a healer. So let's talk about Glazer. Everyone, you need to avoid all of the orbs that are flying around the room. If you are hit by them, you'll take some damage, but they will also split into smaller orbs. Also, you want to move out of the lingering gaze patches. When the boss transitions, DPS need to kill off the overloaded lens as soon as possible. If the beam hits this overloaded lens, you will probably all get one shot. Otherwise, you just need to redirect the beam by using the non-overloaded lenses to hit the boss in the back. Do this as soon as possible to minimize the damage going out onto the group. Once Duramu is dead, move over to Ashgolm. The mini-boss in front of Ashgolm's door has a meteor, so make sure that everyone is stacked underneath him to split the damage. When you first pull Ashgolm, if your DPS is super high, you can use the countermeasures around the edges of the room as soon as possible and just kill him with CDs. However, if your damage isn't high enough, you actually have to fight him properly. Everyone needs to look out for when the boss spawns the volcano. When it lands on you, it will knock you back and off the platform if you're too close to the edge. Sad times. DPS, switch to the Embers ads as soon as they spawn. Everyone also has the ability to soak the fires going around the room to stop the Ember ads from taking them and becoming empowered. When things are getting a little bit too much, you then want to use your countermeasures to clear up the fires and gain a huge damage increase on the boss and any ads left alive. After finishing off both those bosses, head to the west and kill the mini-boss in front of the door. The mini-boss doesn't really do much. You want to go down the lift and pick up the light source at the bottom. From there, you want to make your way through the darkness. You can skip some of the trash by going along the rocks at the beginning and jumping down to the platform below. When fighting any of the trash in this area, you need to make sure you have the light source on them, otherwise they are untargetable. Apart from this, the trash is pretty forgettable. You can then jump off the second cliff to skip some more trash, and then head towards the big double doors. After this, cross the bridge, and now it's time to fight Cordana. Have a healer or a mobile range DPS pick up the light source. That player will need to go around to the pools of goo on the ground to make them shrink. Tank, throughout the entire fight, do not have your back towards the edge of the platform, as the boss will just occasionally knock you back and there's nothing really you can do about it, and you don't want to fall off the edge. When the boss shadow steps away, kill off the avatar shadow as soon as possible to gain the light back. You then want to pick up the light and throw it at the epicenter of the glaives by using the extra action button, and that will reveal Cordana again. Just make sure you never get hit by any of these glaives. As soon as she spawns a line of spirits, you want to look at them to spot the gap in the wall, and then have everyone move through that gap. You can also use the light source to reveal where the gap is. At times there will be multiple walls up at once. You'll need to find out where both gaps in the wall will intersect and stand there. Just try your best not to fuck it up. And if you do fuck it up, you can immune through the walls if needed, or you can use a large damage reduction cooldown just to not die from the damage you take from it. Now occasionally Cordana will go immune and you need to kill some ads around the room, which generally spawn in the corners. Light them up with Elun's light and kill them off as soon as you can. And that's it. Enjoy your loot. Thank you so much for watching. If this video did help you out, then support us by throwing a like on it, or you can support us further by heading over to our Patreon. See you next time.